Is the Antichrist alive today? Are you ready? Jump on board. Let's dig in and find the answer. Many authors and Bible scholars have attempted to answer this question and actually name who the Antichrist is. I will give you my answer to the question at the end of this video. We will review a number of supporting documents in this study, with the most important being the Bible. Let me lay out this study by listing a number of premises that will be used in leading up to answering the question before us. Don't lose me now, as this is all very important. Premise number 1, the Antichrist. The biggie is this: no one today knows who the Antichrist is, but his revealing is not that far away. Please read 2 Corinthians 2 verses 5 and 10. Let me quote verse 6. And now you know what is holding him back, so that he may be revealed at the proper time. The Antichrist will be revealed after the restrainer is removed, and the restrainer is the Holy Spirit. How does that happen? This happens at the time of the rapture, in which all Christians are taken to heaven. The rapture is spelled out in 1 Thessalonians 4 verses 15 through 18, and 1 Corinthians 15 verses 50 to 52. It is at this time the Antichrist makes his grand entrance. Revelation 6 verses 1 and 2 tells us how this happens. I watched as the Lamb opened the first of the 7 seals. Then I heard one of the 4 living creatures say in a voice like thunder, "Come!" I looked, and there before me was a white horse. Its rider held a bow, and he was given a crown, and he rode out as a conqueror bent on conquest. Those people left on earth at that time will finally know who the Antichrist is. FYI, he will be revealed as a grown-up and likely come from Europe. We do know a lot about the Antichrist. Here is what the Bible tells us. The Antichrist is the beast, Revelation 13. He is a Gentile, Revelation 17. He comes from the revived Roman Empire. Daniel 9:26 tells us he is the prince of the Roman Empire. And so I don't go on and on, let me quote Revelation 13 verses 5 through 8. Here we find that the Antichrist claims to be God and wants to be worshipped. The beast was given a mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies, and to exercise its authority for 42 months. It opened its mouth to blaspheme God and to slander his name and his dwelling place and those who live in heaven. It was given power to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them. And it was given authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation. All inhabitants of the earth will worship the beast, all whose names have not been written in the Lamb's book of life, the Lamb who was slain from the creation of the world. For the record, the Bible tells us that at the end of the tribulation, both the Antichrist and his sidekick, the false prophet, are thrown into the eternal lake of fire. Premise number 2, God's 7,000-year plan. Did you know that God has a 7,000-year plan for his creation? Let me quote 2 scriptures. 2 Peter 3:8. But do not forget this one thing, dear friends. With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day. Hebrews 4 verses 3 and 4. And yet his works have been finished since the creation of the world. For somewhere he has spoken about the 7th day in these words, on the 7th day God rested from all his works. There are many sources which indicate there will be 7,000 years of time from creation to the times of the new heaven and new earth. These can be found in the book of Enoch, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the book of Jubilees, the Bible, the early church fathers, the school of Elijah, the epistle of Barnabas, Irenaeus, and Victorinus. The apostles and Jesus himself held to the understanding of the ages. Matthew 24:3. As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately. "Tell us," they said, "when will this happen, and what will be the sign of your coming of the end of the age?" Matthew 13:39 and 40 twice mentions the end of the age. And Matthew 13:49 reads, "This is how it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come and separate the wicked from the righteous." Premise number 3 is God's calendar. Did you know that God gave a calendar direct to Adam? It is a 364-day solar calendar. The Jews were commanded to use this calendar. This ancient calendar is found within the Bible and specifically used in the books of Daniel and Revelation. Today, this calendar is called the Zadok calendar, the Essene calendar, or God's calendar. This solar calendar was used up until 167 BC. Antichrist decided to change from solar to a lunar-based calendar at that time, and the Jews still use the lunar calendar to this day. The lunar calendar is based on a 354-day year. As you know, our Gregorian calendar that we use today is based on a 365-day year. Premise number 4, the last jubilee of this age. Many of the early church fathers believed in the original calendar, the teaching of the Essenes, and taught that the second coming would be in the year 6000 AM. The Essenes used AM, Anno Mundi, or the year of the world. Thus creation, AM 0 to 1, relates to 3926 to 3925 BC. Here are the ages established. AM 1 to 2000, the age of chaos, 3925 to 1975 BC. AM 2000 to 4000, the age of Torah, 1975 BC to 75 AD. AM 4000 to 6000, age of grace, 75 AD to 2075 AD. AM 6000 to 7000, the kingdom age, 2075 AD to 3075 AD. The early church fathers used a 50-year jubilee cycle. For reference, 2 jubilees equal 100 years, 10 jubilees equal 500 years, called an Ona, and there are 4 Onas in the age of Torah, grace, and the kingdom age. And there are 2 Onas in the Messianic kingdom age. Therefore, the final jubilee of this age, the age of grace, would be from 2025 to 2075 AD. Let me check. Oh yes, this is the year 2024 AD. Before we can enter the kingdom age or the millennium, the following events must happen prior to 2075 AD. The rapture, the harlot world religion, the Antichrist, the 7-year tribulation, the abomination of desolation, the false prophet, the mark of the beast, the Antichrist and false prophet thrown into the lake of fire, Satan cast into the abyss for 1,000 years, Jesus' second coming, and Armageddon. Now let's do some arithmetic. Backing off the 7-year tribulation puts us at 2075 AD minus 7 years equals 2068 AD. I believe there's a gap between the rapture and the beginning of the tribulation. So let's use 3 years for this example. So 2068 minus 3 years puts us at 2065 AD. Check this out and record it. We are in the year 2024 AD, which means there are only 41 years until 2065 AD. And this is the latest date for all of the above to happen. It could be earlier. I'm ready to answer the question, is the Antichrist alive today? Let's make one thing very clear. I am not setting a specific date for Christ's second coming. I'm giving you a date range to consider. I am asking you to be alert and to keep watch. Matthew 24, verse 42. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. And I am asking you to be ready. Matthew 24, verse 44. So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him. Have you heard the statement? If the premises are true, then the conclusion must be true. My conclusion and answer to the question is, yes, the Antichrist is alive today. For references, I direct you to the following website and books: BibleFacts.org, Dr. Ken Johnson, The Ancient Dead Sea Scroll Calendar, and Josh Peck, The Lost Prophecies of Qumran.